Hey there, my name's DJ Delago, owner of digitlist.com, or as some have liked to call it, Digitlist. And today we're going to be talking about the best point and shoot cameras for this year, the Ultimate Buyer's Guide. So, you might be a pro who's looking for a portable light camera to lug around. I know those heavy DSLRs can be a pain after a while, especially if you're going out to just shoot some pretty basic stuff or going on trips with family and friends. But no matter what you're going to be using the camera for, I want to show you the best point and shoot cameras for this year. So let's go ahead and scroll down and get into it. So the first thing we've got here is our list of the top 8 compact cameras, and let's just kind of go down the list here. So the first one's the Nikon Coolpix S7000. One of our favorites is the Panasonic Lumix DMC ZS60. We've got the Olympus Tough TG4, which is a great waterproof travel camera. The Sony DSS RX100M3 Cybershot. We've got the Canon Powershot ELPH 160. The Nikon Coolpix S33, the Sony DSCW830, which is another one of our favorites, and then the Canon PowerShot SX720HS. And what we've kind of done here is separated these columns into megapixels, the video resolution that the camera shoots at, and then the LCD size. So I did get a lot of questions about why I didn't include any mirrorless cameras in this list. And typically mirrorless cameras are a little bit more on the a little bit more expensive than the average point and shoot camera. And plus we're going to be doing a review on mirrorless cameras here coming pretty soon. So, cameras like the Sony Alpha A6000 and the EOS M3 will probably make that review list. So let's go ahead and head into it. Our first camera here that we're going to be talking about is the Nikon Coolpix S7000, and we've named it our best compact camera for beginners. So the Coolpix line has been around for ages, and there's good reason for that. It's a great all-around camera for anybody who wants to have a nice light point and shoot camera, but still something pretty powerful. It has 16 megapixels, which is great for your all-around general type of shooting and allowing you to get enough quality and crop room in case you need to crop your images there. But also it's a good resolution for your general prints that the average user is going to be printing at and probably hanging around their home. Comes in at 5 ounces, so it's great to just put in your bag or a purse, carry with you, and be able to have a good time with when you need it. So we've called it the Zoom and Image Stabilization God. It's got a 4x zoom, which that's nothing incredible compared to some of the the zooms out there. Of course, the zooms that are a lot higher also have a lot higher price tag as well. But it does have great image stabilization, and you're going to be able to take advantage of that and see that as soon as you pick it up. And the zoom at 4x is an average zoom that'll let you get some great shots of maybe your kids out playing sports or doing some other activities. It's got snappy focusing speed. I don't know if you remember, but back in the day, point and shoot cameras would take forever to take a photo if you weren't in ideal lighting conditions. So those days are kind of gone, and you've got a great camera here that will be able to have snappy focus, quick focus when you need it, and allow you to get the shot when it counts. Photograph, upload, and share. So one of the nice things is that Nikon has an app called Nikon's SnapBridge app, and you can go ahead and click the link right there and check that out and read more about it. But it allows you to shoot, upload, and share with family and friends with these, okay? So kind of the days of always having to plug in your camera to your computer and, you know, having to wait for images to transfer. And, you know, a lot of stuff has changed now where there's a lot of apps and wireless capabilities with different cameras that allows it to for you to share your pictures a lot easier and a lot quicker. So, you know, what we're like to be fair here, and we're going to tell you one issue we saw when reviewing the camera was the layout and placement of the menus and buttons, and we actually saw a lot of reviews that commented about that as well. And you know, for some that maybe are not very tech savvy, it might be a little bit of a learning curve or difficult to navigate. But if you are more tech savvy, this might be a non-issue, and you know, it might just take some getting used to. So overall, the Nikon Coolpix is a great camera for someone who's looking at a point-and-shoot camera that can do everything and do it well. So it's kind of the jack of all trades, you know, doesn't do any one thing particularly well, but does everything all right. You know, we'd love to have it one of our best point-and-shoot cameras under $200. Unfortunately, it's a little bit over that. The navigation, like we said, may be a little bit difficult to learn at first, but it's still a solid choice if you're looking at a, you know, an overall good camera. So the good was that it's light, slim, and portable for vacations and outings. It's got great zoom and killer image stabilization. 16 megapixel range is great for printing your favorite moments, putting them around the house. And the bad, of course, like we've mentioned before, is that the camera's user interface and navigation feels just a little bit clunky and hard to use. So let's go ahead and scroll down to our Panasonic Lumix DMC ZS60. And we've actually named this our best point-and-shoot camera for the year. So don't hold your breath, because we're going to tell you exactly why the Panasonic Lumix DMC ZS60 needs to be on your list if it's within your budget. Of course, it's a little bit higher on the price range, but this camera is an amazing camera. You know, and Panasonic's been in the game for a while. They may not be as popular as some of your other brands like Nikon or Canon, but they do have, you know, a very sleek design. It's got a solid 18 megapixels, and the killer thing about this thing is this compact camera is it can shoot at 4K video. So if we go down here and actually look, it's also rocking what would be comparable to a 24 to 720 millimeter zoom lens. So that's 30x zoom. Okay, that is amazing. You're gonna be able to get really close-up shots. Not that you'll use all 30, but if you need it, it's there. The camera's interface is easy to use. Controls are, you know, fluid, but it's got advanced features that, you know, amateur and pro photographers will enjoy. So it's kind of a mix of both. We also considered it a good, you know, camera for travel and hiking because of its amazing zoom lens if you're needing to get shots far off in the distance, and it's got a fast shutter speed for catching things like maybe if you're going out shooting birds or some other types of animals. It's got a great Cmos sensor, and it comes in at a little over half a pound, which is, you know, very nice for a compact camera packing these features. So yeah, like we mentioned before, it's got beautiful 4K video. Now, this is going to give you super crisp, sharp images, you know, sharp video that is going to leave your friends and family, you know, blown away by the quality. And to have that in a nice little camera that you can just pull out quickly is pretty awesome. We believe it's got flawless design, so it comes in a nice standard design, black or silver. You know, one of the models actually has, I think, a little bit of silver along the top. And it's easy to hold, feels rugged enough to take with you on anything you can think to go do. So, you know, you're not going to have to worry about it, you know, breaking or know, for anything you want to do, it's gonna hold up. It feels rugged. Comes with a standard 3-inch display, and the quality of the display is actually really noticeable, and the colors are true, so that you're being able to capture exactly what you're seeing. So the only major issue that we saw is that as you're zooming in with this camera, you can't automatically have autofocus. So if you are zooming in and say you're trying to capture shots as you're zooming in, you at even a relatively slow speed, you're not going to be able to have the autofocus capability, which there's definitely probably rare instances that you're going to need to have that capability, but just so you know, it could be the difference between getting a once-in-a-lifetime shot and not. So that is something to be aware of. Again, we'd recommend this camera for the more experienced photographer, as it's got quite a few features which may be overkill for an everyday consumer looking to take quick shots of their family or the friends, or whatever they're going out to do that doesn't require such advanced features. The camera looks good, and for the price and what it has to offer, it's a solid decision. So if it fits your budget, then you definitely need to pull the trigger, because this is our favorite camera for the year. So the good is that it's a great price for the amount of features. It's got quick autofocus and shutter speed, epic 4K video, and a 30 times zoom can get you shots of most anything. Okay, those are huge features right there. The bad, we had to put autofocus doesn't work while zooming in, and that it's overkill for the average point and shoot camera user. So if you're just looking for something basic, then this is probably not for you. Alright, so now we'll move on to our Olympus Tough TG4. And we rated this our best compact camera for extreme sports. So if you're into extreme sports or any other type of crazy adventure that you need to bring a lightweight, super rugged point and shoot camera with you, then this is going to be your baby. It's got a rugged body, but it looks polished, and the design is, it's got a nice design. It can definitely withstand extreme weather conditions, but you can also bring it out if you're just going out for a quick stroll and you want to take some shots. So it's got a quick f2.0 lens speed. Okay, so it's a fast, great low light camera. It's going to be able to really get those shots maybe when lighting isn't at your advantage. And with an aperture of 2.0, it's gonna be able to capture a different variety of shots for you in different lighting conditions. So we believe it had some great camera modes. It has a great macro mode and a really good HDR underwater mode. So if you're going to actually be going under the water with this camera, it gives you a great, high dynamic range underwater mode where things just look really, really good. So also the HDR mode obviously balances the image a lot more, and you're going to be getting a lot of dramatic scenes that almost look like a movie. So special features. The Olympus TG4 is already a backpacker's and extreme outdoor enthusiast's wet dream. But it also packs some features like a compass and GPS for you to rely on those remote and excluded locations. So now you can save some space in your travel bag if you're looking to go out and space is limited. Well, now know that your camera is going to have GPS with landmark recognition technology and a compass built into it, and it includes things like water depth, altitude, and barometric pressure. We'll mention again that it's got a rugged and tough camera body. Again, it's crush proof up to 2200 foot-pounds, and it's shock, dust, and freeze proof. Okay, so if you're gonna take this baby out to the Arctic and you're worried about it freezing, you won't have to worry. You can take it. And it's got Wi-Fi capability. So, we found that it allows you to quickly capture and upload photos with their OI Share app. You can also share image instantly with the press of a button after connecting them with a QR code, which we thought was a pretty neat feature. Now, one major issue we've seen is that the LCD screen likes to fog up. And again, we saw this mentioned in many reviews. But again, this is kind of depending on where you're going to be shooting at. If you're in a very humid location, then you might experience this issue. If humidity is not a huge factor, then it's probably not going to be that big of a deal. So again, it is a con. We're going to list it, but it really depends where you're going to be taking this camera and shooting it. So our final thoughts was that the Olympus TG4 was a solid camera for the individual who wants to take their gear to the limits. Expect high quality photographs, the ability to capture amazing underwater pictures, and great additional features like the GPS and compass. We thought that was really cool to have, to include those features. Again, the LCD may fog up from time to time, but there's also many remedies to that situation. There's different packets and stuff you can include in your bags to eliminate humidity. So if you're looking for a amazing extreme sports camera, travel camera, do it all waterproof hulk of a camera, then you really need to check out the Olympus TG4. So the good, practically indestructible. It had great HDR features for both underwater and land photography. Simple to use and great image quality. Again, we'll mention in high humidity locations, the lens and LCD may fog up. And out of the box, it didn't have any lens protection, but there's always aftermarket solutions for that. So next, we'll actually go to our Sony DSC RX100M3 Cybershot. And we rated this the best advanced point-and-shoot camera. So this one is a megapixel killer, okay? It comes in at 20.1 megapixels. So that's just a great megapixel range. It's going to allow the advanced user to have a lot of cropping ability, prints at, top resolutions. And really, it's just a really great megapixel range for the user who knows what they need and what they're going to be shooting. The lens range we thought was a perfect lens range. It's 24 to 200, so it is a lens range for someone who wants to do it all. You've got wide angle at the 24 millimeter range, and then you can get really close at 200. It's got a variable aperture rating of f1.8 to 2.8, so that's really nice for getting those nice, those nice bokeh backgrounds and great, great overall portrait type photos. So it's got the LCD display of legends. So we thought the LCD display on this camera was perfect. It's got a big, bright 3-inch LCD display setting on the back. So you're going to be able to take photos, quickly make adjustments if you need to, change things like white balance, and be able to do this on the fly rather quickly. The display can also pivot and rotate at various angles, So you know, if you need to get those selfie shots of you and your friends or you and your family, you can definitely do that. And it incorporates something called white magic technology, which helps reduce the glare and increases the screen brightness during those bright full sun days. So you know, with a lot of electronics, if you're looking at your phone or another point and shoot camera in bright light, it can be hard to see even with the brightness all the way up. So this white magic technology allows the screen to reduce glare and bring you kind of back to that true color and brightness to be able to make any adjustments that you think necessary. So it's got great smooth and creamy video. With its great lens and aperture range, it's going to also give you amazing low light capability. So if you don't have a lot of light, then no worries at all. This camera is going to be able to, to handle it, and that's where it's really going to shine. It can shoot up to 1080p at 60 frames, which is a great range. Even though we'd like to be able to see to shoot at 2K or even 4K, the lens makes up to it. 24 to 70, perfect range. It really makes up for, not, and being able to shoot in low light makes up for not being able to have video at 2K or even 4K. One thing we had seen over and over again is that the battery life on this camera really didn't meet standards. It's not a huge con. If you need to get 2 batteries, you can always have a second one charged. And for most more advanced photographers, they probably will have additional batteries. But it does slightly bring the camera down because we would have liked to seen a battery that lasted a little bit longer. So overall, our final thoughts is that the DSC RX100M3, it's a solid camera. But it's really catered for individuals who are looking for an advanced point and shoot camera. So maybe they have a DSLR that they shoot with professionally, but they want something lighter, more portable that they're going to bring with them on any adventures or family outings that they had. But with that said, everybody's capable of using this camera, and it would just be a little bit more of a learning curve, but you could advance into it rather quickly. Granted, it is a little bit more expensive, so that is one thing to consider when you are when you're thinking about going for this. So the good was that it's got an amazing lens with a perfect zoom and aperture range. It's got more than enough megapixels to get larger size prints and give you a nice crop area if needed. A beautiful 3-inch LCD screen with those rotating features. The bad is that it's short battery life, and again, with the price point and some of the features, it may not be directly needed for the average camera user. So let's head over into our Canon Powershot ELPH 160. Now, everybody's looking for a great camera that's under $200, and this seems to be the one. It packs a lot of features, and but doesn't necessarily break the bank. It's got no complex control settings, and it's the menu is not hard to understand. So it's easy peasy lemon squeezy. It's such an easy camera to use. So you're not going to be fumbling around trying to find what you need. You don't have to learn complex terms or looking at settings you have no clue about. Spend less time learning and more time doing what you want to do, which of course is shooting. Out of all the cameras, this has to be one of the simplest and straightforward. It's slim, light, and easy to handle, which obviously will make you feel more comfortable using it every day. It's a great camera to be able to have with you, quickly take out, and get shots, not having to change settings and make sure stuff's set up correctly. And it's got video that won't overwhelm you, okay? A lot of times with video, like shooting at 2K and 4K, it's quality-wise, it's great, but it's going to really limit you later on when you're needing to upload it on the computer. It takes a lot more space. So this HD range of 720p is great for the average user. It's got a great balance of video quality and doesn't include any of the massive file sizes and storage on your computer that's going to go along with shooting at higher resolutions like 2K or 4K. And of course, as with the whole camera, shooting the video is simple, and it's got an easy click, easy on-camera movie button that you're able to click. One thing that we saw is that for this range of camera, it's got a great auto mode. So we saw this in the reviews over and over as well. It's got a smart auto feature, which is great for somebody who's just looking to capture different types of moments, different scenes out and about, inside, and it can automatically choose the best settings for you. It's also got 17 different options to choose from, such as portrait, toy camera effect, poster effect, snow, fireworks, and super vivid. And out of all the cameras, it's got some of the most diverse and best shooting modes available for this price range. The other thing we noticed is that the camera has great battery life, and it honestly keeps on going. So we all know having to have spare batteries can be such a pain when a camera doesn't last that long. Well, one of the other nice things is that it has a eco mode, which optimizes the camera's power management and the LCD display, so you can get more shots per charge. They've added this feature on the camera with a dedicated button. So all you need to do is press it to activate it and continue on with your adventures or whatever you might be shooting. So while we still believe this is one of the better cameras under $500, the one thing we wish was included was great image stabilization. So, zoomed in to the camera's max range, it's going to make it difficult to keep steady and get a clear shot unless you're resting your hands on some type of support or have, really great lighting conditions. But overall, this camera is the best bang for the buck. With the price tag under $200, you can't go wrong. It's stylish yet portable, light and slim to fit into any person's pants, pocket, or jacket. The 720p video mode makes capturing and editing video effortless, all while keeping a good quality range that's not going to go crazy on file size. And literally, if you want a simple camera to use that's dead easy, no thinking involved, then the ELPH 160 is for you. The good is super easy to use and understand. It's got great 720p video without taking up too much storage space. Awesome battery life, especially with the extended eco mode. The two things we didn't care for was that it had no image stabilization and it didn't come with a memory card, but that's pretty typical. So that con is just, a lot of times the lower end cameras do come with a memory card. This one does not, so you'll have to purchase it separately. So let's move on to our Nikon Coolpix S33, which we believe is the best waterproof compact camera for this year. So if you're looking for a point-and-shoot camera, but you're going to be using it around a lot of water, well, you're going to want to look for something that's waterproof, obviously. So there are a lot of different compact cameras to choose in the waterproof category, but the Nikon Coolpix S33 we think takes the cake. It's waterproof up to 32 feet. It's got a great 13.2 megapixel Cmos sensor, so literally you can't go wrong. Now the style wasn't the best. Again, that's subjective, but that's not the focus of the camera, really. You're looking for an affordable waterproof point-and-shoot camera, then this is obviously the camera for you. So it's larger than life. We noticed that a lot of underwater cameras are very good, but one thing they always get wrong are the buttons and menus. So buttons and menus are small underwater, they're hard to press, and that can be a pain and literally make you miss the shot. So with the Coolpix S33, they've actually made the the buttons big, oversized, and the menu is really easy to navigate. So, you know, it makes changing settings while under the water really easy. It's got fun underwater video. You know, that's the reason you're getting the camera in the first place, is to be taking a lot of underwater photos and video. You know, so you'll be able to shoot this video or this camera in 1080p underwater. It's equipped with stereo sound that makes your videos not only look amazing, but sounds come to life. So, you know, whether you're snorkeling off the beach in Maui or having friends around and you're in the pool, around the pool for relaxing barbecue, you know your Nikon Coolpix S33 will do the job and document it well with video. So it's zoom-tastic. It's got a nice, you know, semi-average 3x zoom, you know, with a Nikon wide-angle zoom lens. So you're going to get that nice dynamic wide angle to capture a lot of stuff underwater and on land if you need to. Granted, with a wide-angle lens, zooming in too far is going to degrade quality a little bit, but that goes, you know, with most cameras, so that's not, you know, a huge thing. One thing we really liked is that it would, you know, it's a light camera, so it comes in at 5.7 ounces. So especially underwater, there's probably times you're going to forget this camera is even around your wrists. It feels sturdy, and it doesn't give off the vibe that it's cheap, you know, a cheap throwaway camera. One problem we did find is that it's got major shutter delay at times, and many reviews back this up. Depending on the lighting situations or where you're shooting, this really can become quite annoying, especially underwater when some of your scenes are going to be maybe a little bit darker. If you're underwater and it's an overcast day, you're snorkeling, and you're trying to capture, you know, quick moving objects such as fish or anything like that, it's going to maybe struggle depending on the exact lighting conditions to get those shots. But our final thoughts are the Nikon Coolpix S33 is one of our favorite affordable underwater cameras. It's got a lower price point and numerous features to make it a must-buy for anyone who's looking for a family-oriented underwater point-and-shoot camera. Even though the shutter delay brings the camera down, the everyday user probably won't be shooting in too many situations where it'll even be noticeable. So if you are on the hunt for the best underwater compact camera, then this needs to be your next buy. So the pros and cons, again, were it's got large buttons and menus, which make it easy to navigate and take photos. It's 13 megapixels, which is a good range. It's great for the whole family, so whether you're using it or your kids, it's going to be great. And it's light and easy to handle. So the bad was the obvious shutter delay in certain lighting conditions. And we saw that there were some reviews that the viewer glass can scratch easily if not taken care of. So if we keep moving down now, we're going to be talking about our Sony DSC-W830. And this is a budget-friendly compact camera. Again, if you're looking for an all-around great camera that can be used in a variety of different situations, then you need to give this one a look. We thought it had a great design. It's got 20 megapixels, which is going to be a really good range. And it's got an 8x zoom, which is, you know, pretty nice for a budget-friendly camera. So, ready, steady, go. We love the camera, but you know what? A lot of cameras, like the Canon Powershot ELPH 160, was missing one important factor, which we mentioned, and that was image stabilization. But here, with the Sony DSC-W830, you aren't going to have to worry about that, because it comes with powerful zoom at 8x and image stabilization, which will help you grab those up close and personal shots. We do believe image stabilization is probably one of the most important factors on a point-and-shoot camera under the $200 price range. So definitely look for a camera that's got image stabilization. If it fits your budget, then definitely pick one up that does over one that doesn't. So a video feature to die for. So It comes with a standard 720p video, which is again perfect for the average consumer. But there is one feature that makes this camera extra worthy of our best compact camera under $200. So Sony has included what they call their optical steady shot image stabilization on video. So you don't have to worry about having video that shakes you to death when viewing it. So you know those times when you might be shooting video and you know you had a little bit too much coffee. Well, this is going to try to counter that. Okay, so you know, feel free to walk or maybe even run and be able to benefit from Sony's two-way active mode, which will auto-correct the video for both horizontal and vertical motion. So this feature alone was one of our favorite features on this camera, and it's a great feature to have for under $200. The other neat thing is that this camera had the 360-degree panorama mode, which was great for getting kind of a full surrounding and something for you to... So what? That's right, 360-degree panorama mode, which is great for capturing images of your total surroundings, and we thought that was really cool to be able to share with your friends and families. And granted, you're not going to be using this all the time, but it does give you that very cool panorama image, 360 degrees, which just gives you that unique perspective. So the camera will actually stitch the photos together automatically for you, leaving you with a super wide-angle view that anyone viewing your pictures will be amazed by. It's got a crystal clear screen, really true colors, 2.7 inch, great screen. You're not going to miss shots. You're going to be able to make adjustments on the fly. So one downside we saw with this camera is that the body is made of plastic, and it's under $200, so we really can't complain too much. But with a little bit of wear and tear or a couple drops, that could start to become an issue. We would have liked to see a different, more sturdy material used. So our final thoughts is, if you're even thinking about getting this camera, then stop thinking and just get it. You can't go wrong, and the included features make it a no-brainer, especially the image stabilization. We really pray that Sony never discontinues this camera, because it's great options for so many different types of uses. So the pros and cons, again, the camera is great. It has a great panoramic mode that captures very unique photos. Sony's image stabilization makes video super smooth, even when moving, as well as photos. And the bad was that the camera body is made of plastic. So we'll come down now to our Canon Powershot SX720HS. This was one of our favorite point-and-shoot cameras for traveling. So if you're wanting to keep it under a $400 budget, maybe your budget's a little bit higher, then the Canon Powershot SX720HS you need to take a look at. It's got great 20.3 megapixels, so that's going to be really nice for any size prints that you want to have, or just great overall megapixel quality. And it shoots in 1080p at 60 frames. The amount of features this Canon packs into its small build will leave you wondering what else they could possibly include that you don't already have. Ready to find out more? Let's go. So it really is a truly do-everything kind of lens. It's got a 24 to 960 millimeter lens. So if you really think about it, that is absolutely captures every spectrum that you can think of. You can get very close-up images with Canon's macro hybrid IS mode, and the vivid lifelike detail that this lens produces with close-up objects. Just go on and look at the pictures if you're hesitant and all, but it's absolutely incredible. But being able to zoom at 40 times, it puts you on another level. Literally, to be able to, reach out and touch things that are so far away and get some pretty good images out of it. This camera definitely, out of all the specs, the lens is probably one of our favorites. So it's got remote shooting and viewing capabilities. So that really is a kick-ass feature. So any amateur or advanced photographer will appreciate this. You know, if you want to set up the camera and be able to not have to control it from behind the camera, or get some interesting, you know, self-portraits or self-video, or, you know, it's just going to give you a lot of flexibility. Canon's Camera Connect app is going to allow your device to show a live image, so that you can, you know, frame those different shots or video that you're looking at getting. And the other thing is you can remotely transfer files and videos from the camera. So that's another great feature there. And it's built like a beast. So for the price, you would expect that to be the case, but it really is built like a beast. It's got a great finger grip on the front, so you have a nice steady hold. Standard 3-inch LCD, feels solid, looks solid, and you know, scratch-resistant coating. The settings and the functions on the camera are smooth. Nothing feels flimsy like some other compact cameras, and it's got a sleek design that was, you know, attractive, yet it wasn't subtle, gaudy, and overkill. The only bad thing that we could come up with for this camera was that it didn't include a panoramic mode, and that is one thing that we really thought, you know, is really kind of unique. So it does not have a panoramic mode, and especially for a travel type camera, you know, that type of mode would be beneficial. So that is one con. So, but our final thoughts: if you're looking for a camera that can kind of do it all, and then definitely take a look at this. It's a solid point and shoot for anybody who takes images in a lot of different situations. So the good is that it's got best zoom available on any point and shoot camera that we reviewed on this list. Solid feeling in your hands, and we think it looks pretty sexy. Amazing wireless shooting capabilities for getting that perfectly framed image or video, you know, in unique situations. The only bad is that it did not have a panoramic mode. So now the very last thing we want to do is we want to bring you down to our buyer's guide. So if you're not sure, you're just getting in, you just want to see what to buy, what type of compact camera you want to buy, you're definitely going to need to ask yourself 3 questions before buying any camera. And this doesn't just go for compact cameras, this goes for later if you want looking at mirrorless, DSLR, even video cameras. But, you know, what are you going to be using this camera for? So it may seem really basic, but not every camera is ideal for every type of situation. Some people are looking for a do-it-all type of camera. Some people are advanced, looking for certain advanced features, while other people need something that's waterproof because maybe they're into extreme sports or traveling to a lot of places that have varying weather conditions. So again, decide what you'll be doing with the camera. Travel is obviously, if you're going to be traveling a lot, you know, you're going to want a camera that's waterproof, and that's got maybe some type of panoramic mode that lets you get really wide angle shots of different places that you're visiting. You might be doing advanced photography, so you need some advanced settings or video settings, like, you know, shooting 1080 and you know you need to shoot at 60 frames, or you know you want to shoot at 2K or even 4K. Then those are some advanced features which you're going to have to find on certain compact cameras, like some of the ones we've reviewed here. Again, if you're doing extreme sports where the camera is going to need to take a beating, it's going to fall, it's going to be hitting stuff, you're going to want to look at cameras like the Olympus Tough TG4. It's waterproof, shockproof, everything like that. Or you're looking for a do-it-all compact camera. Okay, so again, do-it-all. You're kind of be doing a variety of different things. It might not do everything amazing, but it does everything good enough for what you need it to do. The next question you want to find out is, how much do you want to spend? So once you know what you're going to be using the camera for, you obviously need to have a budget, because a lot of these cameras do come in different price points depending on the features. So research, find out exactly how much you are willing to spend on a point and shoot camera, and then find that the camera that fits the category that you're going to be needing it for. And the last thing is, what are the camera specs? So when you are trying to research that stuff, you're going to need to know a couple terms. So the first one is megapixels. So in simple terms, think of megapixels as image quality. So the higher number of megapixels, the higher the quality you're going to get out of the camera. So the nice things about higher ranged megapixel cameras is that if you need to crop the image, say you have a subject off in the distance and you want to crop it just to focus on that subject, you're going to have greater range to be able to do that. And then the next thing as well is, if you're going to be shooting or you're going to be printing prints at higher qualities, you're obviously going to, or bigger sizes, you're going to need a higher megapixel range to get more quality for out of some of those, bigger, more, higher sizes. The next term you need to know is about video quality. So you've got 720p, 1080p, 2K, and 4K, and that's pretty much the the elevation of ranges there. So compact cameras are going to shoot in a lot of different video sizes. So you need to choose one that best fits your needs. Obviously, if you're the average consumer, a camera that shoots in 4K might not be your first choice, just because of the fact that it's going to take up a lot of space on your computer, drive space, and that might not be something that you're too familiar with, or how to, store all that or handle that. So you might want to look at something a little bit lower, like that shoots in 720p or 1080. So image stabilization is exactly how it sounds. The camera's ability to stabilize where you're taking images or videos. We all get shaky hands where it's hard to control the camera, or we can't get steady shots. So image stabilization is going to counter that. So you might be needing to walk and do some video. Well, every step you take, the camera's going to bounce. But with certain cameras, image stabilization on video is going to allow it to have a nice, smoother panning effect, where those steps aren't going to be so noticeable in your video or images. So, and we really do recommend you find a camera with one, no matter what your budget is. And the last term is lens zoom, which is pretty basic. It's just the amount of times a compact camera can zoom in. How far can it zoom in? And these ranges can vary widely. And again, it just depends what type of camera it is and what use it might be used for. So they can go all the way up from 4 times to 8 times, all the way up to 40, like we reviewed above. And the final words I just want to say is that find a point and shoot camera that fits you best. Okay, don't just go out and spend $600 because you think that camera is going to be the best for you. You may get it and find out that it's way too advanced, or that you don't understand half the stuff it's even asking you, or settings it's asking you about. There's tons of brands, different technologies out there. We hope that this really kind of narrowed you into an area, and that one of these cameras kind of fits what you're looking for. But we know it's not easy, and we just hope that we were able to provide some value for you here. Anyways, we hope that this review was beneficial, and if you have any questions, please leave it in the comments below, and we'll be happy to answer it. Again, my name's DJ, and we look forward to seeing you guys soon.